Most people think they already understand locks. They see them everywhere now, in music, fashion, social media, and pop culture. And because locks have become visible, people assume they've become simple. But locks in the Rastafari movement were never simple. They were never just hair. They were never just style. And many of the things people confidently say about locks today are completely wrong. So today, we're breaking down 7 things you didn't know about locks in the Rastafari movement. Not internet opinions, not trends, but meaning, history, and truth. Stay with me to the end, because the last 2 are the ones that cause the most misunderstanding. Let's begin. Number 1. Locks are a spiritual covenant, not a hairstyle. In Rastafari, locks are rooted in spirituality long before they are rooted in appearance. They are connected to the Nazirite vow found in the Bible, a vow based on dedication, separation, and commitment to the Most High. Under this vow, the hair is not cut or altered, not for fashion, not for vanity, not to please society. For a Rasta, growing locks is a physical sign of an inner promise, a commitment to live consciously, righteously, and in harmony with divine law. That's why locks are not something you casually adopt within the Rasta movement. They represent discipline, faith, and responsibility. This alone separates Rasta locks from the way locks are often portrayed today. And it leads directly into the second thing most people don't know. Number 2, locks were never meant to look neat, polished, or fashionable. Modern culture often presents locks as something that must be constantly styled, retwisted, parted, and perfected. But traditional Rasta locks were intentionally natural and free form. They were not sculpted to meet beauty standards. They were allowed to grow as they formed. Why? Because the Rastafari movement rejects Babylon, the system that prioritizes appearance over truth and control over freedom. Letting the hair lock naturally was a rejection of artificial standards imposed through colonialism and Eurocentric ideology of beauty. It was a statement that said, "I will not reshape myself to be accepted." This is why early Rastas were ridiculed, criminalized, and excluded from society. Their locks made people uncomfortable, and that discomfort revealed how powerful the symbol truly was. Which brings us to the third thing many people don't realize. Number 3. Locks were once a symbol of resistance and rebellion. Today, locks are widely accepted in music and fashion. But in their early days, they were seen as threatening. In Jamaica, Rastas were harassed, imprisoned, and denied work simply for wearing locks. The hairstyle itself became a marker of resistance against colonial authority, mental slavery, and imposed identity. Wearing locks was a refusal to assimilate, a refusal to submit, a refusal to abandon African identity. This is why locks are deeply tied to liberation and Pan-African consciousness. They were never neutral. They were never passive. And that history still echoes today whenever someone is judged or excluded because of their hair. Now let's address one of the most common myths. Number 4. The idea that locks are not meant to be washed is a misconception. This belief is one of the biggest misunderstandings surrounding locks, and it could not be further from the truth. In the Rastafari movement, cleanliness is essential. Physical cleanliness and spiritual cleanliness go hand in hand. Locks are meant to be washed. They are meant to be kept clean. What Rastafari rejects is excessive chemical treatment, artificial grooming, and obsession with appearance. Early Rastas often used natural methods, water, herbs, and simple routines, rather than commercial products. This practical, natural approach was misinterpreted by outsiders as neglect. But neglect was never the principle. Natural living was. Cleanliness is part of righteousness, and that includes the hair. Now let's move into something deeper. and often misunderstood. Number 5. Some Rastas reject the word dreadlocks. Many people use the term dreadlocks without questioning where it comes from. But for some Rastas, the word itself carries negative and colonial undertones. The word dread was originally used by outsiders to describe fear. Fear of the wearer, fear of the unfamiliar, fear of resistance. It was not a word chosen by the people wearing the locks. Some Rastas prefer the term Locs because it removes the language of fear and stigma. Others reinterpret dread to mean dread of the Most High, reverence, not terror. This difference matters. Language shapes perception. And for a movement built on consciousness, words are never neutral. Understanding this helps explain why not all Rastas are comfortable with the same terminology. Number 6. Locks are connected to the Lion of Judah, not just African culture. While locks are tied to African heritage, Rastafari also links them to the Lion of Judah, a symbol of kingship, strength, and divine authority. The lion's mane represents power without arrogance, presence without noise. For Rastas, locks visually echo this symbolism. They serve as a reminder of dignity, spiritual authority, and identity rooted in Ethiopia and Emperor Haile Selassie I. This is why Locs are worn with humility rather than display. They are not meant to impress. They are meant to remind. And finally, we come to the 7th thing, the one that ties everything together. Number 7. Locks require discipline, patience, and responsibility. Growing locks is not a passive act. It requires time, restraint, and self-awareness. You cannot rush locks. You must allow them to form naturally, just as growth in life cannot be forced. This mirrors the Rastafari approach to living: slow, intentional, and conscious. Locks often become teachers. They test patience. They challenge ego. They require commitment beyond appearance. This is why elders often say that locks will reveal who you are. Because in Rastafari, the outer reflects the inner. So when you see locks in the Rastafari movement, understand this. You are not just looking at hair. You are looking at faith, resistance, history, discipline, and identity. Locks are not worn. They are lived. If this video gave you a deeper understanding of Rastafari culture, support the channel. Like the video. Subscribe to Rasta today. And share this with someone who still thinks locks are just a hairstyle. Because understanding creates respect, and respect preserves culture.